Part 1. Section A, short questions. Answer any 10. 1. Proponent of political geography. Friedrich Ratzel, a German geographer, is regarded as the father of political geography. 2. Meaning of Lebensraum, a German term meaning living space, introduced by Ratzel, emphasizing the territorial expansion of states for survival and growth. 3. Author of The State as a Form of Life. Friedrich Ratzel authored this book, connecting the growth of states to biological principles. Number 4. Richard Hartshorne's views on political geography. Hartshorne classified political geography into functional approaches, focusing on the state's organization and territorial systems. 5. Elements of a state. I, population, territory, government, and IV, sovereignty. 6. Examples of porous states. India and Nepal, open borders between them allow free movement of people and goods. 7. Marginal or tax zone. Regions where a state imposes reduced or special taxation policies to encourage economic activities near borders or underserved areas. 8. Number of member states of OIC. 57 member states representing countries with significant Muslim populations. 9. Headquarters of SARDAP, located in Dhaka, Bangladesh. Center on Integrated Rural Development for Asia and the Pacific. 10. Number of member states in the UN General Assembly. 193 member states, representing almost all sovereign nations globally. 11. Full form of BIMSTEC. Bay of Bengal Initiative for Multisectoral Technical and Economic Cooperation. 12. Proponent of plateau theory. P.V. de la Parent, focusing on the geological importance of plateaus in state formation. This concludes Part 1. Let me know if you'd like Part 2, Part 2, Section B, Analytical Questions. Answer any 5. 1. Analytical method of political geography. The analytical method in political geography involves studying the spatial organization of political phenomena. This includes mapping boundaries, distribution of power, and analyzing relationships between geographical locations and political events. For instance, understanding how natural resources influence political conflicts or how strategic locations like straits control trade routes. 2. Centrifugal and centripetal forces of the state. Centripetal forces. These unify and strengthen a state, such as a shared national identity, efficient government, or common religion, e.g., patriotism in Japan. Centrifugal forces. These divide or weaken a state, like ethnic conflicts, economic disparities, or regionalism, e.g., ethnic tensions in Sudan. 3. Functions of Union Parishad. The Union Parishad is the lowest tier of local government in Bangladesh. Its functions include administrative, maintaining public order and infrastructure; developmental, implementing local development projects, e.g., roads and sanitation; judicial, handling minor disputes under local arbitration; social services, promoting education, health, and welfare programs. 4. Advantages and disadvantages of direct election. Advantages: encourages public participation in decision-making, reflects the direct will of the people. Disadvantages: can be expensive and time-consuming, risk of populism overshadowing expertise. 5. Importance of state boundaries and borders. Boundaries define a state's sovereignty and territorial extent. They impact security, protecting the state from external aggression; economy, regulating trade and migration; culture, influencing identity and interaction between people. 6. Explanation of "he who controls the rimland rules Eurasia." This phrase refers Nicholas Spikeman's rimland theory, which counters Mackinder's heartland theory. Spikeman argued that controlling the coastal areas, rimland, surrounding the heartland, Eurasia, is key to global dominance due to access to sea routes, trade hubs, and resources. 7. Fields of international relations. The major fields include political relations, diplomacy and treaties between nations; economic relations, trade agreements, foreign aid, and development; security relations, defense alliances like NATO; cultural exchanges, programs to foster mutual understanding. 8. Purpose of forming the United Nations. To prevent future wars by fostering international cooperation. Its goals include promoting peace and security, protecting human rights, supporting economic development, and reducing poverty. This concludes Part 2. Now for Part 3, Section C, Essay Questions. Answer any 5. 1. Political geography, definition and scope. Definition. Political geography is the study of how geographical factors affect political structures, decisions, and interactions. Scope. Spatial analysis. Examines how political events are distributed geographically, e.g., resource conflicts. Boundaries. Studies the role of borders in political sovereignty. Geopolitics. Explores how geography influences global power dynamics, e.g., heartland and rimland theories. 2. Elements of the state and sovereignty. Elements. Territory. Defined borders of the state. Population. Citizens and residents of the state. Government. Authority to enforce laws and governance. Sovereignty. Supreme power over the territory, free from external control. Sovereignty ensures states can make decisions independently, including defense, trade, and governance. 3. Local government and Union Parishad of Bangladesh. Definition. Local governments manage smaller administrative areas within a state. Union Parishad structure. Chairman, elected leader. Members represent wards, including reserved seats for women. Committees handle education, health, and law enforcement. Functions: local development projects, welfare programs, and dispute resolution. 4. Methods of determining maritime boundaries. Maritime boundaries are defined to allocate territorial waters, exclusive economic zones, EEZ, and continental shelves. Methods: equidistance principle, equal distance from neighboring states' shores. Natural prolongation, extending the land mass under the sea. Negotiations, agreements between states. International arbitration, settling disputes via international courts. 5. Mackinder's heartland theory. Mackinder argued that control of the heartland, Central Eurasia, is key to global dominance due to its strategic location and resources. Key ideas. Who rules East Europe commands the heartland. The heartland is difficult to invade but rich in resources, making it a geopolitical prize. 6. Elections in Bangladesh. Stages of elections, voter registration and candidate nomination. Election campaigning under the Election Commission's supervision. Polling, counting, and result declaration. National elections, held for parliamentary seats, ensuring democratic representation. 7. ASEAN, formation, goals, and cooperation. Formation, established in 1967 to promote regional peace and economic growth. Goals, economic integration and free trade, cultural exchange, and political stability. Cooperation, collaborates on environmental conservation, disaster management, and trade agreements. 8. United Nations and World Peace, role of Security Council, resolves conflicts through peacekeeping missions, imposes sanctions against aggressor states, approves military interventions when necessary. Achievements, peacekeeping in conflict zones, e.g. Congo, Kosovo. Challenges, veto power of permanent members often leads to deadlocks. This completes part 3. Let me know if you'd like more details or have further questions.